Hello and welcome to another installment of Comparative Reasoning. I'm your host, Cedric Kennedy, and I was thinking about oppression. I was thinking about validation. This stems from a TikTok video duet with Sunny Secular, and it's a mass group of people, but the problem is I realize I can't be satisfied, and I'll do that. That's going to be a later one. Right now, I was thinking about that video, and I was thinking about what they're doing. And then I thought about the response that there has been to that. Then I thought, where does this come from? And I've been speaking it the whole time, but I haven't really laid into it as focused as one could. Oh no, as I need to, but most probably could do it. So we'll go ahead and switch over to the other screen. And it's general oppression and why it hurts society. When we think of oppression, we think of slavery. We think of being outright forced to do something. We don't understand that meaning has actually been lost. Because if you actually discover the meaning of oppression instead of going to the extremes of oppression, you'll start to look around your house. You'll start to maybe look at yourself. You'll maybe start to look at your parents and grandparents and look at others. See, everything starts in the home. And that's why there's a cycle of it staying in the home. To cut quickly to it, because I'm sure the others are gone by now. It's been 2 minutes. So, oppression, when you're in the house, you're growing up, you're a kid. You want to have fun, you want to chill, you want to watch your TV shows and do all this other stuff. Okay, fine. And, you're a kid, so have fun and try to learn as you go if you can. Your idea isn't to learn, it's usually to not learn and just sit there and veg out. But maybe what you're watching can educate you if you have empathy, if you're taught empathy and how to think about others. What you're watching, you might start seeing injustices in TV shows and cartoons, and you're like, wait, this isn't right. That person was treated unfairly. So you get a reputation as a child to those that's taking care of you as someone that's either not going to take things serious or someone that doesn't understand anything. And I mean, you're a kid. The point of the parents is to help teach the kid. That's the point of it. Teach the kid right from wrong, not tribalism, just right from wrong. Does this seem right to do? And if the kid is like, yeah, then, and that is downright wrong to do, then instead of browbeating and hollering or beating or whooping or dismissing, ask the most important questions that you can, which are the main question that a child will usually ask when they want to get their way or just want to be annoying. And that's why. Why do you think that? What of this? And describe it again slowly. Because children, honestly, until they're about 13, you have to go slow, little by little. Because what you know and all of your experience wrapped up into 3 or 4 words isn't going to help that kid understand the entire, novel of your experience. You can't Twitter talk to your kid in order to get your kid to understand you. You got to go slow, break it down little by little. But you get this reputation as a kid, and your parents see this, or whoever's taking care of you, and since people don't like change, when the child does develop more maturity, better handling of thoughts and cognition and things like that, the kid wants more. There's a small thirst that's building, but since the caretaker doesn't want to value that, doesn't want to see that because change just don't happen, then the kid is devalued more. there's no acknowledgement, there's no validation to that. And that is the beginning of the pain of society. That is the beginning when the child grows and the parent doesn't grow with the child. The parent says, I'm this, you're that, bugger off. That's not simply just damaging, that's a teaching moment for the child. You are undervalued. Why? It doesn't matter. What do you think that child has a chance of doing when that child grows up? It's going to do the same thing to his or her child. Whether it's adopted or natural, it doesn't matter. And when that child does get older, into its early teens, and that child has thoughts, opinions, views, it wants to tackle these situations. Try to understand, why does this person dislike me? Why does that person love me? And your answer is, that's just how people are. Get over it. So this kid is hurting, ailing, needs guidance, need emotional shelter, not your shelter. And you ignore. The child is in a desert. It's raining with the rest of the sand dry, but it's only raining on that kid. What do you think you're teaching that kid? Fend for yourself. Look out for number one. Nobody else matters. That's what you're teaching that kid. And a lot of you want to say, hey, that makes a kid tough. No. It makes a kid in pain. And someone in pain, they do want healing, but they don't know how to get it because they've never been taught how to do it. And so what happens with that kid when they go to school? What happens sometimes? They become a bully. Or they become that silent kid that keeps getting pushed around, says nothing, and then lashes out violently. Some form or fashion. That kid will try to find that protective group that it didn't have at home. And that protective group is going to raise your kid further where you didn't. It'll tell that kid who's pissed it off, why it pissed it off, and how to handle it. Because they're going to talk about their Second Amendment rights. They're not going to talk about responsibility of those Second Amendment rights. Your kid is growing and your kid has these new beliefs and things that they're going to get from other kids, TV shows, YouTube videos and things. And your kid looks around the home and there's something that's not right and the kid says, this might make things better. And what else have you been taught to do? What's the other oppressive thing? The thing that can really damage a kid. You've already just messed this kid up a lot. Didn't even think about it because you're worried about your own stuff or something. But then you'll say, you don't pay a bill in here. You don't get to say anything. Oh, you want to change this? Pay a bill. If you ain't making money and taking care of house, then you are worthless. You teach that. You don't pay no bills in here. So what's the point of you? And there's a lot of people that say that to their kids. And I mean a ton of them. And this is not about your race and your demographic and that. No, because it's in all of it. This is everywhere. We literally, emotionally, psychologically oppress and damage our children that grow up to be us. And so when you have politicians that seem like they have no empathy, their psychopathy is beyond others, it's because we trained them that way. And they found their group of people that's going to protect them, or at least they think they will. And they're going to enact that. Do you have a lot of money to give to me in my campaign? No. So what's the point of you? Where do you think it comes from? It all comes from the home. People want to be validated. They want to be valued. And when you don't give it, you stifle their ability to have empathy. Some people won't. Some people don't. Some people can't. But if you don't do the best practices to be the best person you can and be the advocate for your child, then you literally blockade the ability to have it. You have the power to change society. If any of you out there, if you happen to be a young teen, a quote unquote middle-aged teen, or an elder teen being 17, 18, and 19, then this will benefit you the most for the day you have children and you can sit down, and when they do have questions, don't lie, don't try to shelter, answer legitimately and honestly. And if you don't know, say this: I don't know, so let's look it up and see what it is. Let's do some research. That helps a lot. It teaches your child. My parent doesn't know everything, but my parent will also learn how to get everything. That's going to pay it forward to the kid. That child will pay it forward. Now, yes, we are all in a mess, and that's true. What we have done has reared what we're looking at. What our parents have done is soon to be in office, because that's the next generation. That is. Generation X is soon to be in charge, because the boomer generation, they're phasing out. They're retiring, they're dying, and people have had enough. So that generation that taught the boomers, their children are going to be in charge. Gen X's children, that's about 30 to 40 years away. It's not too late to change everything. We can validate right now our kids. Just do a 180 on everything we've done, and I promise you, there will be a lot of shock to the system as you do see that change. You see your kid look at you in a different light, and it will happen immediately. Your kids used to coming to you and getting the cold shoulder, but if you just say, wait, I'm better than this, and your kid talks to you, and you say, okay, well, let's talk about it. I can only talk from what I know, and whatever I don't know, let's look it up online. Maybe we can learn something. You know, go to the most neutral area you can. You know, it could be free dictionary, Merriam-Webster's dictionary, some kind of, if it's politics, look it up in areas that you know are neutral. That's not right or left wing. That's not partisan. You know, go there, check things out, see what's going on, educate not just yourself but your kid, and show your kid how great you really should have been all this time, but you were not allowed to be. I think that would really help things in the next, not 5 years, not 10 years, but the next 3 weeks, if not 2 months. There would be a grand turnaround if we simply did better. Ask questions, answer questions, don't shelter, validate the question, validate the kid, validate the adult, validate the family member, the friend, and make sure that you have the standard to say you need to validate me as well. That will help. And I hope I have helped. This has been Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.